flight, it was an overnight one, and there was like a screaming family next to me with kids, and I couldn't sleep. And I had just gotten surgery, so I was like really sore and stuff. So I just remember like it hurt a lot. So I finally got home, went to the doctor, got everything checked out, and made it. And the next picture, that's me at home with Mikhail, and that is on Thanksgiving. So I got to be home for Thanksgiving. So that was like a weird thing. I remember getting to the airport in Fargo and sitting down and just like bawling. Like, what am I doing? Like, I just was with like my team in Chile, and now I'm like back home. I never expected to be back home during this trip. And I just like didn't know what to do, and I was just like, all right, like God, like just use this time like wherever you wish, and like hopefully I'll get back on a plane in 2 weeks and get back to Ecuador. And towards the end of the 2 weeks, this was Thanksgiving, and I had to be out on Saturday to go back to Ecuador. I didn't know if I was gonna go back on the plane. I was like, this is like great. Like I love this life here in Detroit Lakes, and I didn't know if I could do it. But miraculously, my parents brought me to the airport, and I got back on the plane, and then a couple days later, I was in Ecuador. So I made it through those first couple of months. And I think that was like the big point for everyone. Those first couple of months were like so critical of like adjusting to that lifestyle. But like once we hit Ecuador, everyone was like, okay, like I think we can do this. People were still fundraising, and I was still fundraising too, so we didn't even know if we would like make it all the fundraising, but we just decided that we were gonna do it, and everyone stuck together. And throughout the whole trip, no one went home, and that's like really rare among all the world races. Usually there's like 5 people that go home, and not one person went home, so that was really cool. That's at the equator, so the northern and southern hemisphere. That they built that like 200 years ago, thinking it was like the right point for the equator, but it's actually not. So the next one is actually the right point of the equator, but we had already paid to go into the fake one, so we didn't want to pay and go in the second one. So we just took a picture right outside of it, because we were cheap. It was like $2, but we were on a budget. So in Ecuador, we worked for like a French organization that was building schools. It had schools in Ecuador. So we all lived together in like this massive house, all 40 of us, and then we would each go out to different ministries. It was affiliated with like the Christian and Missionary Alliance. It's called INCO. And so we took a bus like an hour and a half out into the community each morning, and we'd come back each night. So we worked for this school. What we did is we painted, we built a chicken coop. You might have saw it in that video, like girl running around the chicken. That was at our place. And we just did a bunch of different stuff during that month. And of course it was around Christmas time, so we celebrated Christmas there. Like it was the best place out of all like 11 places that we could have celebrated Christmas, because we were all together. There was like a massive fireplace and stuff, and it was kind of cold, so it reminded me of home. And they had good internet, so on Christmas Eve I got to Skype home with my family, so that was really great. That picture, so we had been with those, that's my team, so we had been with those people for the first 4 months. And like I said, it was like difficult at times, like we didn't really mesh well. Some of us got along more than others, but you're with these people like 24/7 for 4 months at that point we were with each other. And they usually switch teams at that time, so that was the last picture we took as a team. Because there was 40 of us, but then we were traveling in smaller groups of like 7 to our ministries. So that was the last one, and that was my new team that we switched as we were preparing to go to Africa. We switched teams, so I didn't really know any